Annyeong. Why? Why am I doing this? Annyeong. It's been a long time, huh? Wow. Well, I'm trying to I know I should situate myself before I start talking, but whatever. It's been a long time, guys. I'm alive. And I survived the lovely BTS ticket war. And my brain is still, like, going through the fact that I went to Tampa. It's still like, oh, you went to Tampa for 2 days. It's like, and I will admit, I tried filming this 2 other times, and the first time my phone kept dropping, and fuck that. And then the second time, well, my brain just went in so many different directions that it went, and I don't know what happened to that one. But okay, so three times the charm. That's So, as I'm going to sip my beer and we're going to have a talk, okay? So, it was a magical experience to be able to see the guys. And I know a lot of people, and it's so true, like, doesn't matter how many times you've seen them, it's like they are magical unicorns that have helped heal me, and I'm able to see them in person and see that they're actually real. It sounds silly to say that, but that's how I feel. But it felt a little bit more to me because like if you watch any of the other videos that, you know, like on my other vlogs, you should know that, like, I started doing vlogs and because, you know, it helped me with my relearning how to talk, my speech therapy, and just trying to find ways to collect my thoughts. And I've said, you know, like, sometimes I'm able to communicate things better through music, and most importantly through BTS, and to find, like, my voice and to find how to talk and communicate again. And it's been and I'm still going through it, and that's something that, you know, I have progressed in everything, and that's how I started doing these videos, and the guys have encouraged me to find ways to progress and find myself and keep swimming. And that song has helped me a lot, actually. Anyways, so And so it's like, when I always tell people, I've been asking, oh, have you seen them before? And I'm like, I was lucky enough to see them in SoFi and in Vegas. Uh, and I have to talk about brain fog. And for those, I'm nowhere near a medical professional. I've been through it. So if someone knows a better way of explaining it, then, go ahead. But when I talk about my brain fog, I always talk about how it's like sometimes my memory and my mind is very like murky, kind of like a swamp. And I feel like, not necessarily like I'm floating, but I feel like it's like I exist but not exist at the same time. I'm present but I'm not there. And that's the only way I really know how to explain it. And I've been dealing with that a lot since, I had my minor psychiatric break, that I talk about quite a few times in these vlogs. And that's why I always say that BTS saved me. Because I'm pretty much alive because of them. I know I've relearned how to talk, and I regained the strength in my body to move by listening to their music and seeing how they are as people. And if I had to do a scale of brain fog between SoFi and Vegas, like SoFi, maybe a 9 or 8.5, because I was able to lift the brain fog for the concert, before the concert, and enough at the end of the concert just to get back to my hotel. And I'm kind of afraid of people. A little bit. Maybe more than just a little bit. Army's a little bit different. I give myself a little bit. I found that I give myself a little bit more leeway when it comes to Army, in a different category than like people in general, because it's like you understand where I'm coming from, I understand where you're coming from without actually having to say something sometimes. And that's the power of BTS. And especially and it got a little bit better. I think brain fog lifted to maybe a 5. No, that's too heavy. That's too light. Maybe a 6 when it came to Vegas. And that was around the time period where I faced another fear of mine, and I helped with the Org Explorers BTS ARMY documentary about how the guys meant to us, and I met Taylor Mari and her boss and that crew, and amazing people, and got to be able to talk more about that experience and wanting to share more about what the guys meant to me. And and honestly, battling brain fog is like a dilemma about enjoying things, because and sometimes enjoying things doesn't last as long, because I don't always remember feeling it, because that's how the level of my brain and level of my head just kind of does this. And I have to sometimes look back at pictures or videos and such in order to remember that I was actually there. And sometimes it was hard, because I want to be able to feel and be there and completely immerse myself. And but sometimes I knew that if I didn't, sometimes if I didn't record, or if sometimes I didn't have certain things to look back on, I I would fear that I would lose my memory of such a beautiful thing in my life. And that's something that I battled with, especially for a few years now. I had that fear even before my psychiatric break, but like it was so much more real as I was battling. Um, I was battling the the lot the high level of brain fog and, and everything. The swamp that was in my brain. My hive mind was just like, I'm here. Wait, am I here? The whole thing, you have to pinch yourself? Yeah. And then, so like, but it was magical though, because being able to go back to Tampa, because I went to Tampa for gin last year. And it apparently left a mark on me, because when I heard that they were coming as OT7 to Tampa, I knew that was going to be the first one I would try for. I mean, I would try for like possibly a couple other spots if Tampa didn't work out the way that it did. It was magical and almost a miracle how Tampa worked out for me. I say that because I ended up having to work in Fort Lauderdale for 1 month before the concert. Almost 1 month, maybe a little bit short of a month, and it ended up working out like, oh yeah, just get the ticket from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa, and then back from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, and I continue working. It ended up working out magically, which is, which is probably why when people are like, oh, you didn't go to third day, I went day 1 and day 2, and and then I was like, guys, I wish I could have gone the third day. However, this magic that ended up happening, that ended up working perfectly for me, going the 2 days. I did not want to push my luck. So I just was like, this was magical. Like, all sense of the words. The guys, my schedule, it just worked out. So, with that being said, I am just grateful I ended up going 2 days, and then but the magical part is that my brain fog is probably at level 1, which means okay, there's all the upsides of this is just I was able to feel, remember, and be there and be completely present and be like just enjoy and literally just soak in everything. And of course, if you are afraid of crowds and sometimes a sudden influx, like myself, you know, you know that sometimes being able to feel all those things means that those senses are heightened too. However, what really ended up helping me was the fact that after I landed in Tampa, I ended up meeting 3 beautiful women, and I ended up having a blast. I heard this one lovely army talking about SoFi, and then so it felt like I grew in tennis, and then I just ended up coming a little bit closer, trying to see, and then I after they were talking a little bit, I heard another lovely army say, "Oh, hey, do you want a freebie?" And then I was like, I found my people. And I was so happy that I found them. And yeah, I was so happy, and we have a joke now. So I was adopted that day because it was 2 daughters and their mother, and it was even more magical because me and her 2 daughters, we were all in a similar line of work. Like they're both vet techs, and I work with pet care. And I mean, I'm a vet assistant, but overall, we're all 3 of us say we work with animals, and it was just so magical. And they were just like, hey, like, we're all just meant to be talking to each other. And what I meant is, like, they set the energy in my mind that everything was going to be okay. They just set my anxiety on a, like, cruise level rather than, like, doing this. Because, I'm on a lot more medication now, and so, and what I mean by that is, well, not, besides the obvious, that I take a lot more medication, but I have a little bit more things to worry about now. And so, well, they kind of just set things at ease a little bit, so, certain levels in my body were a little bit more controlled because they were just like so welcoming. And then we ended up walking around, and in Tampa they had they have like a BTS area where you could take pictures, and then like one side it was like and like it was like a welcome sign with the guys who were in it, and then the other sign was like, Borge, I purple you. And it was just great. And then like I gave out so many freebies already at the airport. It was perfect. And then after that, we ended up, because I was like, okay, I have time, because I couldn't, I didn't check in early. I didn't want to do a check in early for my Airbnb. Because I mean, I had time anyways, and that would have been extra fee. And then something told me that I would be cool just chilling somewhere until I had to check in. That was fine. But then when I was hanging out with these three beautiful ladies, and we ended up, they were like, "Oh hey, we're gonna go to this bar and grill. Are you coming with us?" Or they're like, "Oh hey," like they kept pretty much were like, "Oh hey," and I was just like, "Okay," and then I was like, "I'm adopted." And so they're like, "Yeah, you're adopted." We ended up going to Finn's, which is the restaurant that the guys went to. They took the picture, and we magically were able to get to sit and eat at the table that, yeah, we did that. And it was amazing because they were kind of like, I didn't even know about that because, like, I had been avoiding certain levels of social media because, well, uh, not just because I've been busy, but I didn't want to spoil myself. And I, I would be like, and scare the animals I'm watching, and that's not cool. And I also sometimes, if I see not exactly spoilers, but when people are like I get very overexcited and I start like hyperventilating. And I just wanted to like wait until it got that real for me to like really look. And then, like, of course they were like, "Oh hey, you want to come with us? We're gonna go eat at where the guys were." And I was just like, "Oh," like I was like, "Oh, that's all you have to say." So we went, and it was amazing. And it wasn't just like the food, the service, and the people I was with. And they were, I am so grateful to those three beautiful women. Like, I'm so grateful because because of you, I was able to calm and relax. And I mean, I did eventually need my inhaler, but that was after the concert. Because that was when my body finally realized I was around that many people. No, that's after every concert I go to. I have to do breathing exercises after the concert. That's just me. um, which is why I now until whatever I always check to see what the medical bag uh to check forms if you had to take medicine and stuff. So at least they know where you are. They know if you need it. And yeah. But honestly, I know I think this is why I decided to film again, because I do want to talk about the concerts, but honestly, for me, it was just it was everything. To be able to actually feel everything, it was just it was magical and something I'll never forget. And I love the fact that I can say that because like I I have been working on fractured memories, full of brain fog, for many years now. And I could actually feel everything. Whether it is I am screaming to the top of my lungs, I'm crying, I'm just everything, and that's why I was talking about, the other experiences I've had. And I mean, I'm grateful that I can say I had experiences instead of, but I just, it's everything to me. They are everything. Literally, I am alive. I am alive. And yeah, I'm alive. I'm so glad. I can actually say that, huh? I'm glad I'm alive. And yeah. So this is part one. I'm young for now.